It is Sunday, May 23rd, 2021. I'm Lights Camera Jackson. Welcome to LCJ Live. I've got Scoob here with me, Lil Scoob, because even though Scoob came out last year, May 15th of 2020 on VOD and then went to HBO Max just about 5 weeks later at the end of June, it was in theaters this weekend. It's in the theaters right now. It opened Friday in 2,500 locations and with zero marketing. Other than the fact that Regal put out on their social media that they were doing $5 tickets, it still earned $850,000 this weekend in 2,500 theaters. All things considered, that's pretty good, especially because we are in this hole for families right now for movies to see in the theaters. There's not a lot of options, especially if you already saw Raya and the Last Dragon and Tom and Jerry. So families took advantage of Scoob, which is great. I hope you continue to do that because it's a fun movie for the family. It's got some sweet moments, some big action moments. Yeah, I'm glad if you have the chance to see Scoob at an indoor theater or a drive-in for $5, check it out. Now, this weekend coming up, we've got Cruella, which is really not for kids, but then Spirit Untamed on June 4. Peter Rabbit 2, The Runaway on June 18. Then in July, we've got Space Jam 2 and Hotel Transylvania 4. And in August, there's Paw Patrol the movie. So it's a little bit spread out for what families are going to go see in the theaters. But we've got Spirit in 2 weeks, which will be good. I've already seen Spirit. It's a very sweet movie. Nice film, just like Scoob is. And Peter Rabbit 2, hope to check out soon. And I've already talked with the directors of Hotel Transylvania Transformania, and they told me, look, Sony is so committed to this movie being in the theaters. They want families to go to the theaters to check out Hotel Transylvania Transformania. And Space Jam 2 is hopefully going to be a lot of fun from Warner Brothers. So, yeah, Scoob in the theaters. Came in 8th this weekend. Your box office winner once again is Spiral from the Book of Saw with $4.6 million. Wrath of Man, $2.9 million. Angelina Jolie's Those Who Wish Me Dead, only a 35% drop to $1.8 million. I think people are starting to realize, oh wait, there's an Angelina Jolie movie in theaters and actually it's pretty good? Wow, maybe I'll check it out. So that's why that drop wasn't huge. Raya and the Last Dragon only dropped 2% to $1.7 million, coming in 4th this weekend. Again, because families need something to see. Godzilla vs. Kong rounds out your top 5 with another $1.4 million. Warner Brothers so close to that $100 million mark. It's at $96.9. Will it get to $100 million? It's going to be a close call. I'm sure the studio wants that. It wants the $100 million headlines, unless something beats it to it. Could A Quiet Place Part 2 get to $100 million before Godzilla vs. Kong does? It is the battle, the unexpected battle that we could be seeing in the next few days. Demon Slayer, $1.3 million. Mortal Kombat, $935,000. Scoob, $850,000. Dream Horse with $844,000. Dream Horse from Bleecker Street is a very good film. It's this true story horse racing drama with Toni Collette and Damian Lewis. I've got my rapid review at lights-camera-jackson.com. Dream Horse is a very good film. Toni Collette has never been better. But people need to find this movie and see it. I don't think the marketing has been that spectacular on Dream Horse either. And even though it's horse racing time with the races that we've had and that are coming up, I still think this might have been a smarter play in the fall. Same with Together Together, which Bleecker Street put out a few weeks ago, and it's up to about $1.5 million. I think you could see second rounds of both of these movies in the award season conversation later in the fall. But Dream Horse is in about 1,200 theaters. Finding You rounds out your top 10 with $670,000. Obviously, this weekend is going to be huge. I think it will be, at least for one movie, maybe for both. We'll have to see. A Quiet Place Part 2 opens on Thursday night. I'm going to be seeing it this week, maybe early. I'll give you some details on that a little closer. But Quiet Place Part 2 is opening this weekend, and the first one opened to $50 million back in 2018. So, question is, could this sequel also open to $50 million? And how long will it need to get to $50 million? Because technically you could start with Thursday night and go all the way to Monday because of the Memorial Day weekend. Quiet Place 1 opened to $50 million in 3 days. So we'll see what it does. Paramount has high hopes. This is their big comeback movie. They want people to see this in the theaters. I don't even think they're giving out screener links to any members of the press. So they want people to see this in the theater and to experience it. Now, Disney, on the other hand, has Cruella. Cruella is as I said, not for kids. I have seen Cruella. I'm going to hold many of my thoughts on the movie till Wednesday when I'm able to post my review. But I will say this. It is 134 minutes long. And it's not violent, because a couple of people were asking me yesterday and the day before, oh, is it, if it's not for kids, is it because of violence, because of things that are inappropriate? Not really. It's just a drama. It is a drama, basically between two people, the Emmas, Emma Stone and Emma Thompson. It is a drama between the two, and that's not appealing to kids, to young girls who they hope to get into the theater to see Cruella, to see Emma Stone, who they may like from other movies, and to see this origin story. I don't know if that's going to work. It depends. And another question, will people stay at home and pay the $30 at home to watch Cruella, or would they rather go to an indoor theater or a drive-in theater? So my gut says A Quiet Place wins the box office next weekend over Cruella for those couple of factors. Could be wrong. We could see a boost on Monday for Cruella from families, even though it's not really for kids. But we'll have to see. I'm interested in finding out, and I'm sure all of you are as well, diehard movie fans and box office fans, how these movies are going to do. The theaters have been waiting, hoping, praying for a huge weekend, like the one we got for Godzilla vs. Kong in late March, early April, but even bigger. And that's what this hopes to be. After this coming weekend, we have Spirit Untamed and The Conjuring. Then the following weekend is In the Heights. Then the weekend after that is Peter Rabbit. And then Fast and Furious 9, F9, The Fast Saga, which is already overseas. Universal put it out overseas already, and it's making hundreds of millions of dollars already. But we don't get it here in the United States until June 25th. Another movie I do believe that Universal is not going to send out screener links to members of the press. They want them to see this in the theater. So we'll see how F9 does when it opens finally here on June the 25th. Now, this week is a big week for television because the Friends reunion is on HBO Max on Thursday, May 27th. This is a year to the day, I think, that after HBO Max started last year, this was going to be one of the big centerpiece things to kick off HBO Max, but now a year in, when this streaming service has relied very heavily on Warner Brothers Motion Pictures for content, now we get one of the most anticipated things for HBO Max of its existence. This Friends reunion with the original 6 cast members plus James Corden. There's some guest stars. There's some people coming in. I truly believe maybe we don't need all the guest stars. If it was just the 6 of them sitting at a table talking, I think the same number of people would have watched it. Versus, I guess, the star-studded lineup that we're going to get on Thursday. You know, HBO Max did something interesting last night. They aired the first episode of their series Hacks with Gene Smart at 10:30 after Wonder Woman 1984 was on HBO last night. They actually put an HBO Max show, just 9 days after it premiered, they put an episode on HBO on television. Will they do that with more of their other shows coming up, especially around award season time, Emmy's time? We'll have to see. But I thought that was pretty interesting that happened. Rugrats also kicks off on Thursday on a different streaming service, the Paramount Plus streaming service. And I've got a new LCJ Q&A podcast episode coming tomorrow with Eric Casimiro and Kate Boudelier. They are the executive producers of Rugrats, of this new CG Rugrats reboot series, which I've had the chance to screen a little bit of, and it's very fun and very cool to take a look at these characters in CG form. And they talk about working on the original show and then coming into this one, and believe it or not, this wasn't originally intended to be a CG show, which is crazy. They initially thought, hey, we're going to do hand-drawn again. So there's really cool facts and things they talk about in this interview that I hope you get the chance to listen to. lcj.podbean.com tomorrow and animationscoop.com as well for that Q&A. Tuesday, I'm going to have another animationscoop.com Q&A, but I'm not revealing who it is with yet, but a big new animated series. That's probably a big clue. I talked with the creators of this big new animated series, this Animation Scoop Q&A coming at you on Tuesday. Another very interesting conversation about the origins of this show and how it's up and running and how it got going during COVID and what the network that it's on wanted from them. Really interesting conversation. So that is on Tuesday at animationscoop.com. Tomorrow, as I teased here on Twitter, some game-changing back-to-you news. You know, I've been a fan of this show since it premiered in 2007. And I uncovered something the other day that kind of blew my back to you mind. So I'm going to share that with all of you tomorrow. It's not news in the sense that it's a clip from an interview that happened several years ago, but I just discovered it, and it's hard to find some of these interviews, even when you're looking online, especially because this was an interview with the Television Academy from Christopher Lloyd, the co-creator of the show, and they hide them sometimes within private links on YouTube and things like that. But he talks about something that I don't think we ever really knew before, and has never been publicly stated otherwise about Back to You. It's pretty significant, too. So some game-changing Back to You news that I'm going to have for you tomorrow. You're going to want to check that out. A lot of people on my social media so far today reacting to my post about Saturday Night Live. I just want to expand upon that a little bit. They did a segment last night with Beck Bennett as Vin Diesel, because Vin Diesel did this going back to the movies video, promotional video for all the theaters and for Universal with Fast 9 coming out on June 25th. And getting everybody pumped to return to the theaters. So they had Beck Bennett do this skit last night with him doing this very similar promotional video, basically making fun of that first video for AMC theaters specifically, which again was sort of random why they chose that. But first of all, the impression wasn't that very, very good. But also the fact that they're making fun of the guy, one of the main guys, who has helped keep NBC Universal, NBC's doing this, keep NBC Universal alive and thriving for the last 20 years with these billions and billions of dollars that these Fast and Furious movies have made. The fact that they're making fun of him about something that I think everybody at SNL, everybody who's a movie fan loves, the fact that we can go to the movies again, why? It feels like bad taste to me. It really does. Yeah. So, and obviously I've not been a huge fan of SNL over the last several years. The quality has gone down significantly, so I wrote I'd be furious if I really cared about SNL these days, but I don't. But yeah, it's just not smart comedy. You know, I watch Frasier and some of these other classic sitcoms, your Mary Tyler Moore's and your Dick Van Dyke shows, and there was smart humor. That's what Back to You was too, and in a different time. In watching the Last Man Standing finale the other night, which was mostly successful with what Tim Allen wanted to do and what he accomplishes. He talks about in the commentary how some TV shows really came out of a simpler time, a different time, a more freeing time, and I got to agree with him with his thoughts on the way networks are choosing shows these days and which shows they keep and which shows they cancel and what kind of comedies they want on the air. Most of them not funny, not sharp, not unique, not interesting. I mean, look at CBS. They canceled The Unicorn, a show that was so different from everything else they have on the network. They decide, it's different. We got to cancel it, even though it has a core audience. I saw an article the other day talking about how networks are canceling so many of these sitcoms after 1 or 2 years that there are going to be very few left that are eligible for syndication. If you get to about 80, 85, 90, at least 100 episodes, in that range, after at least 4 to 5 years, you can qualify for syndication. And shows like Last Man Standing and The Goldbergs and Blackish and some others in recent years have. The Middle and Modern Family as well, and Big Bang Theory and Young Sheldon Will. But The Unicorn would have been a good show for syndication if it had gone several more years. It felt like a good watch it in the afternoon once a day if you didn't watch it the first time kind of show. But if you're canceling things too quickly and just replacing and trying new things or giving very limited episode orders per season, you're only doing 10, 11, 13 episodes a season, that eligibility for syndication, it's not going to be there. So it's really interesting where we're at with TV comedies and what the focus is from the networks on TV comedies. So again, this is going to be a big week for animation, for entertainment with friends, and for the movies. With A Quiet Place Part 2 and Cruella, I will have my thoughts on both films this week. Looking forward to sharing those with you. I've already seen Cruella, and I look forward to seeing A Quiet Place Part 2. As always, you can go to my Twitter at LCJ Reviews, Instagram at LightsCamJackson, YouTube.com/LightsCameraJackson. Got a clip up there with Elaine Bogan, the director of DreamWorks Spirit Untamed, talking about working with Jake Gyllenhaal and how there is a video out there of Jake Gyllenhaal saying the phrase, "I am the train," 50 different ways. Universal and DreamWorks, you got to find this video because, as I told Elaine, that would go viral instantly. People are so fascinated with Jake Gyllenhaal as an actor, as a performer, that they would absolutely want to see this video. I want to see the video. So I hope that they find it. That full podcast episode will be next Monday, May 31st. That'll drop. Facebook Lights Camera Jackson. And we'll be back next Sunday at 12 p.m. Eastern for another episode of LCJ Live. We will find out if the headlines are, yes, movie theaters are back. Yes, the box office is back, finally. Because what we've seen so far is that people will go to the movies for the big movies. The little ones will make a little bit of money, and they'll all add up to something decent, but you get your powerhouse, your knockout, which is A Quiet Place Part 2 and or Cruella. I think people are ready to come back to the movies. I really do. So I'm looking forward to seeing those box office results, and we'll be back next Sunday to do all of that. I'm Lights Camera Jackson. Thank you for watching LCJ Live. Stay safe, stay positive. Wear a mask if you need to. I know a lot of theaters now, including some Regal locations, are saying you can take off your mask inside, which is very nice if you're vaccinated. So abide by all the rules that they have in place wherever they are and wherever, whatever places you're going to. And I'll see you next Sunday for more LCJ Live. Lil Scoob says peace out too. Take care. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.